All right, welcome back, Prospect Live listeners and viewers. We're back with another 2021 MLB Draft interview. In the hot seat today is Wright State infielder Tyler Black, one of the best draft-eligible hitters in the country. Tyler, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm all good.
Tyler, excited to have you, man. You're one of the biggest sleepers in the class for us. I mean, I really like your game, but speaking of your game, I want to just open the floor. Wright State, people aren't going to get as much a chance to watch Wright State as some of the other schools. So let the future fan bases, let big league organizations know who Tyler Black is on the field.
Yeah, man. I just say I'm a bulldog competitor. Never going to give an at bat away. I take pride in my versatility. It's something I've always kind of, looked upon as my game as a strength, being able to play multiple positions. And obviously the bat's going to carry me, but I just take pride in, the little things every day. Just showing up to the field, competing, and, being a good teammate. So
all important elements. I want to get started right away. You're obviously Canadian. So your background, sort of coming into college ball, different than I think a lot of prospects that we probably talk to. What's that experience like as, a Canadian youth player sort of coming to the United States and playing collegiate ball?
Yeah, for me, man, I just try to be honestly a role model for as many Canadians as I can. The game's growing rapidly. You see guys everywhere now. Just looking at rosters of opposing guys, I always see Canadians on there. I always point them out. It's definitely, I'm definitely proud of other guys. And, it's kind of like a small baseball circle we all know each other from some sort of way. Played against all these guys growing up. So obviously a definite different path to getting to Wright State for me. Coming from Canada, I didn't get a lot of recruiting attention early on. My junior year of baseball in high school, that's like the big summer for Canadians, I actually hurt my ankle. So I was out all summer there. I kept working, kept staying positive, but it was definitely tough. And going to my senior year, I was pretty much going JUCO 100%. And Wright State saw me, luckily for me, and, I just fell in love with the place. And, I can't thank the guys here enough for what they've done for me on the development side. So,
yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, you really hit the ground running. Obviously, had a huge freshman year where, Horizon League Freshman Player of the Year. Numbers across the board were tremendous. So it looks like, that transition was relatively easy. Unfortunately, you missed 2020, but you're here hitting again in 2021. I mean, all you've really done since you've come stateside, I guess you could say, is hit. So, was there any adjustment period at all, or has it just been seeing beach balls since you got on campus?
Honestly, my freshman year, the fall was really tough on me. I think a lot of it had to do with the off the field stuff, being away from home for the first time, being in a different country, obviously a big thing. Kind of being on your own, doing your own laundry and all that kind of stuff. Was tough at first, but I think that freshman fall was huge for me. I made a lot of swing adjustments in that period that were huge for me, and adjustments that, at first kind of stubbornly was tough for me because I've always hit wherever I've been, but I needed to make them. I knew I needed to make them to, take my game to the next level. And, it helped me a lot. I went home in the winter and just worked my tail off. That freshman year coming into the spring, I was in a position battle for second base at that time. And, at first, me and the other guy were splitting time. And, I just tried to do all I could, control what I can control. And, the rest worked out itself. But it was definitely big that winter going into that spring, making the swing adjustments I needed to make.
I want to stay on the topic of being a Canadian baseball player because every Canadian baseball player you talk to has such great pride in country. So I want to know, is there a guy, is there a Tyler O'Neill or a Michael Saunders or something like Russell Martin that's come up that you just have always been a huge fan of, tried to kind of model your game after? Maybe a hero?
Honestly, Joey Votto for me. He's been a guy that's just I've always looked up to. He's kind of been my baseball hero since I've been a young age. And, now I'm kind of in the Cincinnati area. I'm only 40 minutes away. So I've seen him a bunch. That's been awesome. But just the way he plays the game, the way he carries himself stands out to me more than anything. So
Nice. I want to talk quickly just about the start of this season, because there's probably going to be people that think, oh, Wright State, Tyler isn't seeing arms. You start off the year with Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter. Hello, welcome to 2021. What's that experience like, and kind of what sort of trajectory does that put you on for the rest of the year?
I mean, honestly, man, I know I speak for pretty much all my teammates when I say this. We love that challenge right out the gate. For us, we crave those environments. Going into Vandy, last year going into Louisville, going into Tennessee, taking a series from them. We love those environments. We take pride in those. And, obviously it was difficult seeing Kumar and Leiter right off the bat. But, man, like, it's night and day now. You know what I mean? We're seeing, 98, 99 first day out the gate in the spring. And now it's kind of an adjustment as well, toning it back. But, we love that. We love that. So.
Yeah, and I think it sort of sets the tone, like you said, for
Yeah.
The rest of the season. Seeing some of those high end arms early on. I mean, last year, like you saw Garrett Crochet, that guy was throwing in the majors. A few months later. So you've seen stuff before. That's not an issue. That's not something that's going to shake you. Let me transition a little bit. I always like to ask the hitters about this. The game is obviously always based in feel. But have you implemented sort of any tech at all into, your training regiments or any of that sort of stuff, something you've utilized or even thought about using in the past?
We've used a little bit of blast motion stuff. And I mean, I kind of mix emotions on it. I think it's a great tool to use, but for me, honestly, in season, I don't really like to look at that stuff. For me, it's really approach based and, more mental stuff, what guys are trying to do to me in season. And, the off season's a time for me to work mechanics and, make swing changes that I need to make. So.
Tyler, I especially like watching you at the plate because you've got a little bit of swagger in your setup. You got some hands, you got a little bit of movement. And then if you get one, you're not afraid to let the pitcher know. So I kind of want to ask, as far as who you are at the plate, can you kind of profile the type of bat that you see yourself down the line?
Yeah, I mean, more of a gap-to-gap guy right now. I think for me, I'm definitely tapping into my power potential a little bit. Learning how to spin the ball correctly has been huge for me. But I'd like to try and see myself as like a DJ LeMahieu type. Kind of just, spray the ball everywhere. Put up a good at bat. Don't strike out a lot. Put the ball in play. So.
Yeah, and I want to sort of piggyback on some of the things you've said a few times now. What sort of adjustments have you made in terms of your setup and sort of mechanics in terms of at the plate?
Yeah, early on, I was really just like I've always had really good hands. I've been blessed with good hands, and I just think early on they were bailing me out a lot. I wasn't really tapping into I wasn't driving the ball like I should. So really that freshman year was all about, learning how to spin the ball, staying in my lower half and, staying back. That was a big thing. Just letting my hands work, kind of toning everything down. So, and obviously there's been swing adjustments made, year to year and everything with growth. But I think those are the most drastic ones I've made since I've been to school.
So you've gone through the last few months, October through December, doing Zoom interviews with pro clubs, introducing yourself to pro scouts, kind of getting that whole process started. What's that process been like for you, kind of putting yourself on the big league radar and starting to, talk to clubs?
It's really cool, man, honestly. For me, I didn't get a lot of attention in high school. I didn't even think I'd have a shot of even, there's doubts I'd even play college baseball at one point in my high school life. It was crazy. But it's definitely cool, but it definitely drives me to just continue to grow, continue to chase my potential, and, just become the player I want to become.
Is there a question that sticks out from those interviews, like the strangest question you've received?
I've had some strange ones. One was peanut butter in the fridge or the cupboard. I think that was a weird one. There's tons, man. I can't even remember. Just
What's the right answer?
I said cupboard.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. You got to be a psychopath to put in the fridge, I guess.
How are you supposed to spread cold peanut butter? That's not my life.
I don't understand that. I don't even think I'd ever thought about putting peanut butter in the fridge in my life.
It doesn't preserve it. It already preserves.
Somebody else mentioned that question too. So there's a team out there that's like trolling everybody with peanut butter questions.
Yeah, there's a sociopathic team out there. That's for sure.
There's some guy that's like, once I find the refrigerator peanut butter guy, he's getting $4 million. I'm sorry. That's wild. Good question though. Good question. So we talked a little bit about some of the arms you've already faced. We talked about Kumar and Leiter, right? Who is the most uncomfortable at bat that you've had? Is it one of those guys, or is there somebody else that's like, no, it's this guy?
Crochet was definitely uncomfortable. He's throwing 100 from 3/4 arm slot, and he's halfway down the mound when it's coming out. I got to say that was the toughest. Kumar and Leiter were tough, but, I just think you see some of these arms that are, like, funky sometimes, and it's like, what is this, man? You know what I mean? And it's hard to pick up, So, sometimes it's almost I'd rather face those guys that are trying to gas you up rather than those guys that are just, throwing 86, 88 with disgusting sink from down below, right? So, Crochet is definitely the toughest at-bat I've had.
That's awesome, man. You said that you had taken a series, or you played a series last year against Louisville, and I got to ask, did you have a chance to face Detmers, and how did that compare?
No, we had them during the midweek, so I think they threw a freshman at us. I'm not sure. Didn't face Detmers, though.
We'd heard that Detmers was lefty behind your head, so
yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah. But Crochet, I'll tell you what, I'm not stepping into the box against that. They'll throw a ball right through me.
Yeah, disgusting. Yeah.
Well, Ralph, I don't have any more questions, man. You got any more questions?
Yeah, you know what? We'll end on sort of a team question. What are your goals, sort of, remainder of the season, team goals? How is sort of Wright State approaching the next several months, and where do you want to end up? Obviously Omaha, that's what everybody says, but
yeah, I think for us as a team, it's a clear goal. We want to make it to a super regional. We want to do something that's never been done here. It almost seems like it's the elephant in the room. We've gone to a regional so many times, and won our conference so many times. But we really want to get to a super. I think we have the depth, the arms, the bats to do it. We just got to come together, stay together. And definitely for us, I think 2019 we lost to UIC in Milwaukee, kind of ended with a bitter taste in our mouth. So for us, we definitely remember that as a team, and we're going to carry that throughout the rest of the season. So.
And you're going for blood this weekend as you guys visit UIC. So best of luck there. Best of luck getting to that super regional. I think you guys definitely can do it. Appreciate your time on the show today, Tyler, and best of luck in the forthcoming draft.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.